Oh, hello, Red Sox Nation. A 500 week for the Red Sox. They gave up 21 runs the other day in Fenway to the Halos, but still wound up winning the series. Their first series win in I don't know, about 5 of them. We'll talk all about it this week and more on Red Sox Wrap 360.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Jimmy, get it.
Oh man, and the Jimmy too? Oh, that's so sick. Definitely my favorite rendition.
Oh, yeah, of course. You know, our nation's birthday tomorrow. What else could we open with?
Absolutely.
How about those Boston Red Sox?
How about him?
I mean, every time you just want to get going with this team, they'll just lay a fart.
Yeah.
And that's what this week felt like. I know it's 3-3 week, but it's like that road trip wound up 2-4, and now we're out of the gates. At least we're winning a series out of the homestand here. Very important homestand for the hometown nine. What do you think, boys?
I mean, it felt a little like last week where we started off a little rough and then maybe we're getting some momentum, coming out of today, getting 10 runs up on the board. Finally the offense wakes up. But how many more weeks can we deal with this roller coaster of just bad pitching, offense kind of turning off at times? It's really frustrating.
Oof. It sure is. But the beacon of light shown today on the bump today for the Red Sox was the Sean O'Sullivan.
Yes.
And talk about a guy who Boston will give every opportunity to.
Sully, dude, doing his thing out there. You know what I mean?
I'd love to see
You
it.
need to stop her. You call up
to
Sully.
see it.
Got that guy on speed dial.
Boom. Do either of you guys need a quick Celtics purge before we really get going today on Red Sox
Oh,
stuff?
yeah. Shout outs to Al Horford and KD. Come on, man.
Come on, KD.
I mean, seriously, we got the whole Red Sox team right now tweeting out KD. I mean, what else can we do? We got Tom Brady showing up in person.
Right?
Who else can we
big
get on the recruiting
man.
team?
Oh, lifetime free crab legs from Legals?
Yeah,
Come
right.
on now.
Oh, that's it.
What is
You're
the
in.
deal?
You're in. Screw the extra $20 million you can make over those 4 years. You can make that in crab legs alone.
Crab
Oh,
legs.
boy. I'll tell you.
It's not looking good though on the KD front, I don't think. But
No. He's going to
Horford's
do
a big-
the 2-year deal with the opt-out with the Oklahoma and go through this whole rigmarole again next year.
Horford's a big pickup.
I'm
Well,
glad
hey, maybe we're paying ourselves forward here for 2 years from now, because he'll be a free agent again, and I guarantee he's going to remember this whole cycle he went through, and
Oof.
I was thinking TB12 might have been the first QB to also pick up an assist on an NBA championship. Add that to his credentials.
I know.
What else can that guy do to endear himself? To
I don't
the
know.
city
Can
of
he
Boston?
pitch? Because we got some spots open, right?
Solid.
We know he's got a good arm.
Yeah, that's true.
How's his changeup?
Hey.
How's his curveball?
Hey, he was a catcher. You
Yeah.
know, he was once drafted in the 17th round, I believe. So
We do not need
don't put
another
it past
catcher.
him.
We do not need another catcher right now.
We got Sandy Leone. We don't need another catcher. We don't need another catcher. Sorry.
Get it.
Sorry, guys.
Get it?
Getting back to Mr. Sean O'Sullivan. You know what he did today?
Tell us.
He
Tell us what he did, Mike.
I mean, 5 innings pitched. The bullpen let him down a little bit and let him his 2 runs in that were charged to him. But 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. I mean, nothing glamorous, but this team is so ripe for somebody who's just a grinded out gamer to get a fantastic opportunity to show his wares, and he's doing that. And his early start this year was kind of much in the same vein. It was 5 innings pitched. He gave him a chance to win.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna get his chance. I mean, we saw how Buchholz pitched the other day, and in his own words, it wasn't the worst game he's ever pitched. Okay, yeah.
That one's coming up.
Yeah, right? Oh, God, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, all indications seem to be that, Shawnee Boy is probably going to, at least for the short term, probably take over Buckholz spot in the rotation.
I certainly hope so.
The
I mean,
Clay
you can't
situation
it doesn't get any worse. Than,
the Clay situation is just as ugly as possible right now because I feel like the options are so limited. I mean, I just keep hoping that he's going to turn it around.
Yeah.
It's really I mean, I don't want to go that deep yet, but I feel like him turning around might be our only hope this year.
The thing is like we've seen it happen before with this guy. You know, he's got all the talent in the world, and even Farrell was saying it the other day. It's not a question of stuff. You know, it's about execution. And execution is about, you know, a lot of that's mental. You know, so he's got to get his mind right.
Well, that was another thing. Like one of the reporters asked him after the game, you know, is this something mental or is this something physical? And his exact words were, well, I haven't talked to the psychiatrist yet. And I don't know if he was joking or not, but like realistically, you know, we're all kind of worried about like his mental state of mind, and like the Red Sox apparently have a psychiatrist for him to talk to after these blow up games that he's doing.
Well, let me dial for you, Clay.
Right? Like,
if that dude's on like available to him, I would hope that he had talked to him by now. You know?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe a few seasons ago, even.
Wow.
Potentially.
So, yeah, it's not.
I would have thought like he would have like maybe spoke with them, you know, maybe last year when he had that nice 8-1 run. You know, for a mile I thought maybe it was Sandy Leone was his head shrinker, and he was going to be the you know, key that unlocks Clay Buckholz this year, much like he was last year, but to no avail to this point.
Sandy.
Oh, it's sad. It's sad.
Yep.
It's a rough guy.
Well, you know, it wouldn't be another edition of Red Sox Wrap 360 if we weren't talking a little Poppy. And, you know, it's a milestone every week with this guy. You know, he hits number 522 this week. That puts him past Ted Williams, Willie McCovey, Frank Thomas.
Wow.
Now he's 19th, I believe, on the all-time list.
Pretty good.
Also, with his double today, that was his 1,157th extra base hit, tying him with Yaz for 12th on the all-time list.
But who's counting?
Boom.
But who's counting?
The guy just keeps raking. He had a little bit of a slow, like, little lull in there, but looks like he's back.
Yeah, and actually that 522 home run was actually his 2000th hit as a Red Sox as well, which is a pretty significant milestone. Not many have done that.
That's impressive. That's yeah. Well, obviously, Williams.
Wasn't it 7 guys? Did I hear
Yeah,
that? Or
was
did I
it?
make that up?
Boggs, Dewey Evans, and Jim Ed Rice.
Yeah, I don't have the list in front of me.
Yes, that's correct. Wait, I'm hearing that those are the exact.
Can we get our research department on
Is that 7?
Boom! We got our crack staff research team came back and said that's right on the money.
Spot
on the money. Oh boy! You know, I mean, I don't know what it is with these Red Sox that when a team's going bad, it's just to have the Red Sox come to town and they'll just because that Chicago White Sox, they were like 6-18 in their previous 24. They came in, almost swept them.
Right.
You know, we were able to salvage one game, thankfully, on that.
Yep.
And then Tampa earlier this week, they lost 9 in a row coming into that. They take 2 or 3 from the Sox.
Right.
Yep.
The Sox gotta win these games.
Well,
man.
yeah, and even in the Angels, you know, we did take 2 out of 3, but like the 21 runs that they let up, that was, you know, by far the best performance that the Angels and they have had all year, and it didn't even have Trout didn't even have an RBI. It was everybody else except for Trout doing it, which is like, how does that even happen?
It was
you know?
the bottom part of their order. Like their 6 through 9 guys were just annihilating. And I mean, and that's just like, basically, everybody's pointed at the Angels this year and been like, okay, you have Trout and Pujols and potentially Calhoun, you know,
Right.
But you pitch it around those guys and you can get through the Angels, and that's kind of, but to no avail. I guess if you have the, you know, lack of depth in a pitching staff that the Red Sox have, it just doesn't matter. I mean, Johnny Giafatelli is going to have a career day, and C.J. Cron's going to look like, you know,
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth.
Well, I mean, what did you guys think about, you know, pulling Clay Buckholz so early in that game? I mean, you know, realistically, he had 3 earned runs when he got pulled, and I think a couple of those were due to the errors. But and he was only at like 60-something pitches. Like, all right, he's already down 7-0 or whatever. Like, what do you think's going to happen on this game? Like, you know, our relievers are already gassed. You know, like, we're just going to try to ride this one out, or like try to save it. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I didn't get that move. Like, just, I mean, where is he going from here, you know? Just
Yeah,
like
I
give him
mean,
30 more pitches and like
let him
save
take
the
a
arms
beating.
for the next game, you know?
Yeah. I hear you.
So,
If anybody deserves it.
Beat.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Clay, due to your performance to this point and how horrendous you've been,
Yeah.
we're just going to leave you in there to suck it if you want.
How about throw another 50 or 60
Yeah.
pitches. We're not really caring about the result.
exactly.
We'll use this opportunity right now to tell you we're not picking up your option next year.
Right.
So, you're on a pitch count of 170 today.
It's brutal.
Oh,
The thing
boy.
that scares me the most, not to be, Chicken Little over here at this point, but
Oh, boy.
the thing that scares me the most was that while we were hot this year, the pitching still wasn't great. And it was sort of, we were putting up 10 runs a game, and obviously that was going to kind of tail off. And now it has to kind of an extreme extent. The offense, I don't think, is going to be this bad either. Now we're at the opposite extreme. But the pitching, for the most part, has been consistent. It is what it is. And that bums me out because if they're not scoring 5 runs plus, I don't know what we're looking at.
Yeah.
It's kind of rough.
It is. It's a sad state of affairs. Think of where we would be if Stephen Wright wasn't the absolute
Right.
man, And it's
killing
really Price just got to get his act in order, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't, he's saying all the right things, but it's time to, stop performing.
Yeah,
I
no
mean,
question.
we're halfway through the season, and the Sox, have been pretty good and have been pretty fun to watch, but they're still 44 and 37. We've talked ad nauseum on this program how horrible their schedule gets, starting the end of July, So coming in at the end of July, by July 26th, when they head on that road trip, they're going to have to be, 15 or so above 500, 15 to 20, I think, in order to have a chance to survive.
Yeah.
And so 44 and 37 they are right now. So if you double that, that's 88 wins. I think we looked
Wasn't
at
that the magic number?
the
or was
magic.
it-
I think it was the over under. These odds makers are so good. Was 87, I think. So that was just about right on it.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I tell you.
It's nerve-wracking, though. I mean, aside from the obvious need for someone to either step up or for us to pick somebody up in the rotation, I mean, it seems like we might be a few other ingredients away from a real squad right now.
Seems to me that maybe old Double D was snoozing on Bud Norris.
Right.
I mean, because that's the kind of type of guy I want to pick up.
Right.
For 2 relievers is what they got him. This is a guy that has a potential to be, when he's on, a number 2 starter. You know, I mean, when his last 5 outings for the Braves, he was great. Since he added a cutter and got rid of his changeup, he's like sub 2 ERA in those 5 starts. So they were able to pick him up. I mean, Dave Dombrowski, where are you, buddy? Especially where we're just panicked at how this pitching market is going to be. You could have had a
Yeah.
guy for 2 minor league arms.
The way the market's shaping up, too, here I go again with the Chicken Little, but I have this underlying fear that your boy Double D, as you called him,
Oh, yeah.
it just is it's set up right now to, with his aggressive approach historically,
huge
it's
hands.
just huge.
Huge.
But you can
huge.
just see us buying high on, one of Billy Bean's guys and
Right.
and it just doesn't feel right to me. I talk about a Celtics analogy, with so much young talent. I just feel like if the market's not there, let's not reach for it this season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's the swan song for Ortiz, but
I hear
I'm
you.
just afraid they're going to reach for something that's not there.
This is where I think the scouting department, really has to earn their coin, because it's like you said, you don't want to buy high on somebody. What you want to do is find that low guy, the guy who's maybe not doing too well, that people think are broken.
Right.
And you can, Kyle Willis can unlock the key to this guy, or perhaps Dustin Pedroia can unlock the key to this guy,
Yeah, Kyle
and
Willis.
get him going good. There was a little uptick in the pitching last year when we canned Juan Nieves and
Right,
brought in
right.
Kyle Willis, so
Yeah.
maybe that's a move.
He does have an impressive mosey out to the hill. I do,
Yeah.
I appreciate that, if nothing else.
On the trade front, it's I don't want to spend that big money like a Tehran is going to command, and Ben, I think there was some really smart gentleman who watches the show every week who had some
Yeah.
comments on the thing. He was mentioning a guy, Drew Pomerantz, who's a guy I really love.
Yep.
And could potentially be gotten for not what certainly not what Tehran's going to
Oh,
ask
yeah.
for, or Sonny Gray, or any of the big names that might be out there.
Yeah, I mean that would definitely be, something that we could look at. And I think just probably what Dombrowski's doing here is just trying to figure out like, look, if we trade the farm here and get an upgraded starting pitcher, maybe like somebody to help with relief, is that going to put us over the edge to help us win this year? Like, is this a team that realistically is just a couple parts short to do it? And I think that's probably what he's trying to figure out right now. And obviously these last 2 weeks haven't shown him a lot. There's a lot of gaps to fill. I mean, we've seen that even the offense has some gaps to fill too. So.
Yeah. That's a great point, because even if you got one of the best starters available and one of the best relievers available, you're going to still need guys that are underachieving at this point to turn it around.
Right.
Those guys just aren't going to be. Maybe they are the catalyst to such a turn happening, that all the well, but one guy's not going to do it in the rotation or in the pen.
Yeah.
And if we are going to have to kind of pay market value for either one of those pieces, it's going to be a pretty penny to spend. But I do like going after maybe a Pomerantz, or maybe even getting Rich Hill back, hoping that the price will be.
He's the guy who makes me the most
Almost.
nervous. I feel like Rich Hill is I feel like that's who it's gonna be, and I feel like I just have this bad old school Red Sox fan hunch about that.
Yeah.
But
Get him
does
back, and it's like, oh, we bought high. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
No, I mean, he is high, but I mean, we could have bought high on him in the offseason for a
Right.
1 year deal for $6 million. That would have been a pluck.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like, so, and he really, maybe it's just because he's a mask guy, so I'm pulling for him, but it seems like he kind of those older guys, when they unlock it, and it seems like he's a guy that unlocked it. I mean, it's like 6 or 7 starts with the Red Sox at the end of last year, and what he's done with the Oakland A's this year.
Right.
That I know it's a small sample size, but it's like 20 starts, and the guy's bringing it. It's like, oh, okay, maybe it, like anything else, it all depends on the price.
Of course.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I don't see him at this point, given the way that things have gone the last couple of weeks, like, just gutting the entire farm system to try to win it this year.
Right.
I see it kind of being a more conservative play,
Yeah.
and I think that actually he'll probably be eyeing 2017 as the season when the Red Sox are probably going to have their best chance to win it. Which I know nobody obviously wants to hear that. I mean, and to be true,
how can you say that? We're going to be having 40 homers and 110 RBIs out of the lineup. And do that at 320 with and he's got no feet.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, essentially that's what you're going to be looking at. So I think that given that. And I think the Red Sox are always in it to win every year. I mean, obviously, right? But I think that their best chance is, looking into the future. Because, I mean, obviously we're stacked with young guys, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, right? So,
Yeah.
and it hurts.
Ortiz
I mean,
he's coming back either way. So it's all
that's true,
I
right? He's
mean,
coming back.
No chance.
What are we worried about?
He's already kind of said like he regrets, putting it out there
Yeah.
early, because all the fanfare and what have you. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I
Come back next year and get off to one of his classic slow starts. We'll be wishing he had retired.
Now, what's the story with the All-Star team? We can't vote anymore. Did they declare the starters?
I don't know if they did.
I think Tuesday they're announced.
Okay, Tuesday or not. So we'll have all about that next week, and we'll be like, talking about, who our biggest snubs are and stuff. Guys, what are your Twitters? Just in case people want to hit us up here for the rest of the show. And
you can hit me on @BennyFrickinJam. Just how it's spelled right under me right here, I think. Right here.
That's it.
Nice noise. You can find me at Deehaas, DeeHaas. Deehaas.
Yes, and I still don't have Twitter. So, my family members that have hit me up at this, thinking I just signed a 6-year, $153 million deal, I didn't. So, you know, that'll just go wherever they go.
Yep.
Yeah, you can find us here on the AfterBuzzTV.com, and you can find us on iTunes, where you should rate us, and then you can find us on the YouTube, and you should subscribe to us and stuff, and tell us how we're doing, and if we can talk about any questions you want to put forth, things like that. You want to hear more about what the band The North is doing, we can put you in touch with them too. Where can they find some info on The North?
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Yeah, no problem.
You can find us online at The North LA.
That's it.
TheNorthLA.com, etc.
I like it.
etc.
So now, Clay Buchholz, I don't know why I'm just gravitating towards this guy.
Yeah, you do.
But it's just so bad. When he did have that small sample size in the pen, he was pretty effective. Can he be a piece for us going forward in the pen? You just want to cut ties with him now?
No, I don't
Send
want
him
to.
down?
I don't think they have any choice but to keep running him. By the end of the season, I think they're gonna have to, even if it's another short stint in the pen. We're in this vicious cycle now, and I don't really see it.
Oh, he's going to get another opportunity.
Oh yeah, he's
because nobody out there.
Right, and I mean he's still our best hope for this thing becoming anything more than like a loss in a divisional series.
Sean O'Sully will go out there. You know, what's that?
Sean O'Sully, he might be another guy who,
roll him out there a few times.
said.
He gets whacked. Then we bring up
it's like your boy
Brian
Rich Hill.
Johnson.
Maybe he's just discovered himself.
That would be nice. Then hopefully,
Sully.
he spoke to Rich Hill, and Rich Hill unlocked it on him. I don't know.
Uh,
Oh boy.
Anything
ugly.
is possible.
Yeah, no, he's going back to the bullpen for sure.
I mean,
I don't see how they can just keep rolling him out there like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, hopefully he can recapture something. So this is the start of 9-game homestand. This series was anyway. So now we got 3 coming up with Texas, and then we got a day off Thursday, and then they'll go into the break with 3 versus Tampa at home. Man, and Texas just put a little hurting on us,
A
right?
little beaten.
Yeah,
And
I think they're the are they
Actually,
the best team in the AL right now? The Rangers? They might be the hottest. I don't know if they got the best record.
the Rangers
They're
look
most
tough.
attractive.
They are definitely formidable. So this is going to be a good measuring stick this week to kind of really see where the Red Sox are at. Well, I think we got to know. But
52 and 31 right now. Man, they're doing
and they
pretty
have
good.
like injuries in their starting staff. Yu Darvish is out. They've had that guy Colby Lewis out a lot this year, so they're going to get arms back. That's what's kind of scary about that team, you know. And then you look at like Toronto's kind of hot on our heels right now. We were always kind of scared of that team, and Baltimore, thankfully, they just got swept by the Mariners, but they were starting to put some distance. They were indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was just gonna say, like, we talk about pitching every week, right? Like, and how bad it is. I can't talk about it anymore, guys. Yeah, like, can we talk about
How
some
about
Al Horford.
this? I want to say that some bullpen guys have stepped up, and like I have more confidence in them now than I did at the beginning of the year. You know, just search for something positive.
Did you miss
yeah.
yesterday's game? Or?
Yesterday's game, I'm putting that out of mind. That's
Are you
just
talking
an
about Ryan
aberration.
Lamar in the bullpen, or
There you go.
because he looked pretty good?
I mean,
he was probably our best pitcher yesterday.
He was the position guy that went, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to give him a turn in the
He
rotation.
had a scoreless inning. So
Nice. Hey, give him a chance.
it's the only pitcher
Pitch
that
in
we
the
put out there
contact.
that without any earned runs on that night. So
Wow. Yeah, I'm totally, like John Farrell said, putting that game on entirely on
Yeah,
the
it's-
and you know, they refocused and they were able to get the win today and get the win in the series. So that's really what's important. They have to keep winning series.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the key. And then this Texas series will be the next one, and you know, we'll see how it goes.
yeah, today was pretty much the best outcome they could have had after something like yesterday. It's just
Yeah.
night and day.
It got a little nerve-wracking there, too, this afternoon. It's like,
We did have all 9 starters that got a hit today, which was great to see.
pretty impressive.
That was impressive. And like you see Hanram starting to catch fire a little bit.
Yep.
You know, he's hitting about like 400 over the past 10 games, and he's got his average all the way up to he's like 280 now, isn't he? Let's see.
And the other thing that they did really well today.
283. 283.
The other thing they did really well today is they were getting 2 out RBIs. So Ortiz kind of started that chain. He had the 2 out ground rule double to deep center there, and then Hanram had the 2-run double, and then I think JBJ had a single. So I mean that was great, right?
That was
great
huge.
to see because
That
we've
was
been
huge.
getting crushed on 2 out runners in scoring position lately. So so that was really nice.
And 7 for 16 with runners in scoring position. That was great. And I have seen. I mean, well, obviously this Red Sox team is characterized as kind of an offensive team. Obviously, I mean that's just an understatement. But so they have been basically overall hitting pretty well with runners in scoring position. They've been pretty well. They've had a little dip lately, but I'm really impressed by. Hitting seems to be contagious. So even these guys they're bringing up and plugging in, like Hernandez, Marco Hernandez, and like even Bryce Brent's in his short stint, this week and stuff. These guys are contributing. What we need to have happen is for our veteran arms to get going. I know you didn't want to talk anymore about pitching, but we're going to bring it back there because it's an important part of the game.
Fine.
But it's like. They have to show something. So when these guys come up, they're invigorated, and they should be anyway because it's an opportunity to show their wares in the show. I've been really disappointed at this point for like what I've seen out of Owens and what I've seen out of Elias. So if this journeyman Sean O'Sullivan wants to take the job and run with it, I'm all for
baby.
it.
SOS.
That, right?
SOS.
Boom, that's right.
Bam.
And SOS is exactly right, exactly what we need. So just have a battler out there. I never thought I'd be missing Jake Peavy this badly, but I am.
There's definitely room for hope on the pitching staff. Like there is the chance that things get a lot better in the rotation, and then things find their healthy balance offensively, and then you're looking at a pretty dang competitive ball club. I still don't know that they have what it takes, or that they can acquire the 1, 2, 3 pieces that would be needed to really get over the hump. But it's a competitive team, and then you get in the dance, and who knows what happens.
Yeah, really, these answers ideally have to come within house.
No question.
One of these starters or 2 of these starters get hot and fill out that 5th role.
I think similar to what you're saying about hitting, if Price just steps up and is himself for the second half, the domino effect of that could be huge. The impact
And Erod, who's
right,
huge.
well,
So he's a guy we haven't really spoke about to this point, but he got the old demotion after his last thing. And I think we talked a little bit about last week about him getting 10 starts under his belt. Before we can really know if that knee is going to hold up and, if he's back to the old Erod. And, hey, if some of those come in AAA, some come in AAA. But he did get hit around the other night.
And they keep saying that it's not his knee that's giving him issues. It's that he's continually hinting his pitches. He's giving away. He's tipping his pitches still. And I know we talked about that last week, and you said, well, I haven't heard really anything about that. They said that was one of the reasons why they put him back.
Oh, okay.
Put him back down, as they say. He is still tipping the pitches.
Oof.
And I don't know how they are able to tell, because they don't ever say like on the telecast like, oh, this is like how they're knowing about it.
Yeah.
But
arm slot.
between whoever's on the field, like those guys know about it.
Right.
Like Remy and the other guys upstairs aren't able to pinpoint it, but it's happening.
Way to go, Ram Dog. Way to on your coin. I mean, we go to bat for you each and every week here on this program, and you can't even talk us through it. Talk us through it. Let us know what Erod's doing, buddy. All right?
Ram Dog.
We're fans giving finalysis. It's empty. All right, buddy? Help us out, Ram Dog, on the next telecast. But Erod, I remember like when they said when Junichi Tozawa was tipping his pitches a few years ago, they were saying it was like when he went to his split, they would see the wiggle in the glove, and they would know that he was changing it to a split grip. So maybe it's a little something like that. So what he did was he just wiggled his glove all the time now. Yeah. Simple fix. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, whatever. They got to get it straight with Erod, because this is the same thing that got him on a bad turn last year. He was like a world beater after like 4 or 5 starts, and then, they started reading him and started hitting him. So.
Well, yeah, and it's exacerbated because he only has 2 pitches. So it's like, okay, well, if it's not too fast, it's the changeup. It's so easy. It's too easy.
Well, got to get a third pitch to make in this league.
The other thing I wanted to mention, we talked about a little bit, was Hernandez played pretty well today and has been playing pretty well.
Hernandez.
Giving hit. Oh, sorry, sorry about that.
Well, I got the
Keeping
Dodgers. I got the Dodgers show after this one.
There you go. Getting warmed up.
Nicely done.
Yeah. So I mean, your boy Travis Shaw has been a little bit struggling lately.
And got a day off today. Mental health day today.
He did get a
hopefully.
day off. He was stroking it earlier in the week. He had that monster blast. I think it was
Yeah.
like 460 feet or something. 450, 460.
Don't
something
even
like
get me started on the exit velocity.
It was high.
I
He
mean,
loves it.
it
was high.
It was ridiculous.
It was high. Yeah, he's not been doing well. He's been really slowing down.
You pining for Panda?
I'm not. I mean, I'm not buying into the Panda. No.
Looking lean these days, Panda.
You think
You
we're
know, I
out there
actually
looking?
heard. I actually heard that
Trevor Plouffe is available.
they're thinking about starting to get Moncada some reps at third base. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
That could be interesting.
That would be really interesting.
Oh man, I hope they don't rush Moncada. You know, don't rush
I
him,
know.
man.
I
The
know.
thing is, it's like he's so fast,
Yeah.
and the speed will play right away. You know, that'll play right away.
Yeah.
And you know, to add another guy into the lineup that can be, you know, just trouble on the bases to go along with, you know, Betts and
It's hard to say
To a lesser
nowadays
extent,
whether
Brown.
we're getting, you know, it's that delicate balance of like pulling these guys up because they're obviously producing. Him
Yep.
and Benintendi, and there's all that talk like it's September we might see these kids, but you definitely could see both sides of that coin because we've been so lucky lately with the Betts and the Bogarts where these guys just come in and it's like, oh, this guy's a polished big leaguer right now.
Yeah, right.
And that is now we're in that position where we're starting to forget that a lot of kids come up in bright lights, big city.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Bogarts, he was great when he first came up, and
Yeah, and then he
was
kinda-
instrumental with that, you know, playing third base in that
Oh,
whole
yeah.
13 club. But then like that next year, he had some tough times.
Settled
you
off
know,
a bit,
so.
yeah.
But you know, I'm happy with somebody injecting life into a pennant race in that September as a type of call. I think it's going to be more Benintendi. I mean, I think you can always move Brock Holton to play third, and you can put Benintendi in that outfield spot. And I think with him being a 4-year college guy,
Right.
he's more, you know, a finished product.
Totally.
than,
He cooled
say-
off for a minute in
Yeah.
Double A, but now he's raking again. And It's
Yeah.
like
And like you know,
and as is Moncada.
like since the calendar hit June, Devers is hitting a little bit down there too in single A and high A. So he could be next on the promotion list to go to Double A. We'll see.
Yeah, and that could also be a little bit of prep work for next year too, trying to figure out who's going to play third base. The one thing I did want to mention is not only has Travis Shaw not been hitting particularly well lately, he's been making some really key errors in the field. So not sure
What's up, Mike?
what that's about.
What's up with T-Shaw, bro?
Shaw, my dog.
Yeah.
up,
So
brah?
Man.
yeah.
Care to comment?
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, throw T. Shaw over at first, and Hanram becomes your new DH, and then whoever plays third, whether that's Devers or Moncada or maybe Holt some days. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's not forget, as much as we want to put them out of minds, we still have, you know, fat dude who likes sandwiches.
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
under
but-
contract.
He
for
did
like,
look lean in that one photo that was
what's that?
leaked like last
Was
week.
it? Yeah. I didn't see the photo.
You
I
didn't
heard
see
about it.
A
I'll pull
recent
it up while
photo.
you guys talk about
I heard about it.
Oh, interesting.
He was looking good. He was looking good.
Yeah, it's probably like lost a lot of muscle though. He's been just sitting around.
Because he's under contract, you know, for what, 3 more years at a cool like 19 mil a year. I mean, I guess Dombrowski could be like, hey, he's not my sign, and just decide to eat a bunch of that and ship him out. But I don't know, man. You know, and you know, Devers is still at high A. You know, to think he's going to really contribute to like the 017 team, I think is a little bit of a stretch. You know, and a little bit of a rush job. But Dave is he's gonna trade a lot of these guys, so don't get attached.
Yeah.
Don't get attached. But I'm hoping with Denny, he errs on the side of, okay, you know, we're more than these guys away from really making an entire run at it, so I'm not gonna, you know, get swept up in this, you know, bidding war.
Right.
Essentially, what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But oh man, yeah, I'd hate to. You know, it'd be nice to get a cost-controlled young stud pitcher, but I mean, what are those what's it gonna take? You know,
Right.
like you look at Sonny Gray, he's not exactly lighting the world on fire this year,
No, no.
but he's still gonna command
Right.
like
It's the upside.
two, top 5 prospects or 2 top 10 prospects.
Maybe we work, we eat some of Clay's deal and send him on his way. It's best for both. Best for both of us. Just package him in there.
What are we trying to get? A bag of fungos? I mean, he's garbage. This is like, oh man, you're like,
people want,
yeah, we package Bacolts. And I feel like I ran into some dive bar in Methuen. Some dude's just like,
hey.
12 Bud Lights deep, and he's like,
Hey, man.
yeah, we package Bacolts and
Upstand.
Panda. We get
That's a pretty solid impression of me right now. I'm saying though, when
Giancarlo Stanton, he's not having a good year.
Yeah, he's down.
Put him in left.
Pretty much 1 for 1 right there.
I was seeing this whole weekend, like, and Angels were in town, and like Mike Trout and Mike Trout and Ortiz being all buddy, and I was just like, oh man, I was like, recruit him, do your best Brady and recruit him, bring him to town, because I mean he's got to be banging his head against the wall, having to like ply his trade in Anaheim every day, and knowing he's going to be a 500 team, but it's like at best. But that front office just seems to really just want to run that team into the ground, and why not take another step in that direction by giving us Mike Trout?
I think I should. Have we offered Clay Buckles? I wonder if they've raised it. Just saying.
Okay, we'll part with Benintendi, and you take Clay Buckles and give us Mike Trout. But dude, Trout, and maybe he'll really hit it off with his starting outfield mates this week in Betts and Bradley, and they just want to, hey, guys, wouldn't this be great if this was our outfield in Boston for the next 10 years?
Right.
When you just slot Mike Trout right in there in left field, being in that great lineage of Fenway left fielders. I know he's a Jersey kid, but he doesn't strike me as an evil Empire guy. I think he wants to come and be with the Bull Sox.
You, man.
That is pipe dream, folks.
All right, let's bring in the Boston recruiting squad. Let's get Tom Brady up in there, Al Horford, Isaiah Thomas. We're gonna get them all. Put them on a plane.
Poppy was part of the recruiting tour too. He shouted out some tweets to to Horford and to KD. Oh man, Poppy.
It would free up your boy Holt too to back to be utility man.
Yes. Well, now that we're talking that, old T. Shaw's kind of hurt, and maybe it becomes the Brock Holt show at third base, for the lion's share of the at-bats over there.
I'm not ready to rush on that train yet, but
no, you don't want Holt.
I'm not ready to hop on
T.
that
Shaw
train yet. No.
Okay.
I was hot on Holt at the beginning of the season, but he's not. He's struggled a little bit. Great to see.
He's just getting off a concussion. He's just getting back.
No. I'm saying before the
All
concussion,
right.
he was slowing down a little bit.
2 hits today.
2 hits today. Looked great coming back.
2 runs.
He looked good at playing defense too.
He's heating up.
I think he's going to heat up a little bit. We're gonna have a nice little.
I mean,
run
he's
from
definitely
him.
rested for sure.
Yeah.
What's the latest on the old hamstring injury on?
Chris
Young?
Young? Yeah, it's not good. They said he's going to be out till at least the All-Star break. So that's kind of what we talked about. It looked bad, and they said it was initially a mild strain, and then they looked and they got the MRI, and they said, yeah, it looks like a lot more damage than we thought. They're still calling it a strain and not a sprain, but they said it's pretty bad, and he's probably going to be sitting through the All-Star break.
What's up with Swihart?
Oh, man, I haven't heard anything about
He's getting some
Swihart.
ink done, I think, down in
Nice.
Warwick, Rhode Island. Or
I
something.
mean,
That was a bad one.
that was like, what's he got? A broken bone somewhere? in
No,
his leg? Or
they said he didn't break anything. It was a severe high ankle sprain. And just from I play fantasy football a lot, and they always talk about the differences between these ankle sprains or whatever, and they're really hard to diagnose, timetables for returns because there's just so much variable.
It's almost doctor's training these days now. It's fantasy football they learn.
But almost something, right? It's like I got
hold on. Let me pull up my Yahoo
PhD
account.
in Final Fantasy.
Stand by, man.
It's a left knee impingement.
Yes.
But
You're going to be out for 2 games.
Sometimes they say that sometimes they say that it's often better to actually break the bone because the bone ends up healing faster than some of the ligaments surrounding that area. So, I hope that's not the case. I hope they're just kind of taking their time because he's one of our young guys. We don't want to rush him back.
Yeah.
But
I heard some rumblings, a few weeks ago that the Sox were maybe talking with the Pods about John Jay. And he could be a potential left fielder guy who is kind of not big in the power department, but can be a guy that hits for average, good on base and plays good defense, so pretty fast. So
I think they'll be a good trade partner for us this year. They're not very good.
No, they definitely want to sell. So
yeah,
and hopefully they'll give us some credit for giving them Margot and Guerra for. Kimbrel, remember that last trade? We still kind of gave you a lot on that, so give us some credit still on that. But thank God we didn't go get Jimmy Shields from them.
Yeah.
Although he was kind of
played pretty well against us.
He did.
Yeah, that was like a little.
But so maybe that is like the type of player I'm talking about, where it's like he's had success in the past, but maybe something's broken. I just didn't want it to be him because I think he might be broken for good. And was he ever really that good? Certainly never earned that nickname, Big Game James. It's like,
oh no,
please. I did want to throw out some props. I don't have this young man's name. But the fan Friday night,
I was
okay,
mention that.
huge, huge on that
the
ground rule double. Like Trout, if it stays in, Trout is easily scoring on that. And who hit it? It was Daniel Nava. Hello, old friend Danny.
Yeah, well, we'll give you a clap when you get up to the plate, but
that was huge.
Do not overstep your welcome here.
But you folks, if you didn't see, you should go back because it's a kind of a bouncer, and then it like skips off the wall, and this young gentleman, he probably was all of 12 years old, snags it.
Nice play.
Yeah, it was a nice play, barehanded, boom. Just brings it in, and therefore Trout was sent back to third because it was a ground rule double, and he would have scored the tying run. So that was huge. I mean, we could have easily lost that series once again.
Yeah, that fan. I mean, great hand-eye coordination from that guy. Like, wow.
Yes, please let us know who you are. If you happen to listen to the show or watch the show, please hit us up in the comment section. Let us know or tweet these guys.
Now, I wonder if he got kicked out of that game for doing that. You think?
I think he mostly got high fives and.
All right. Like, he got kicked out and was getting high fives on his way out.
I mean, they kicked him out. I mean, there was like 2,000 people in the stadium.
Yeah,
at that
it was
point.
like empty.
That's another thing I have a problem with, okay? And we are getting soft as a fan base.
Yep.
Okay? And, this is the post-04 world. I'm saying, why I'm all, lovey-dovey and rainbows and butterflies, it's because we're winning, and winning softens you as a fan base. And that was evident Friday night with how many people emptied out of there. A 90-minute rain delay on a Friday night in Boston?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. I mean, it's true,
Take a look at yourself in the mirror, okay, Sox fans? Because if you're at that game, that's sad. 30%, 40% of capacity filled around. Okay, I can stomach that.
Right.
But that was like 80%. Yeah. That was horrid on a Friday night.
It is pretty
little
bad.
drizzle.
The flip side of that
Get up under the underhang.
I think all the season ticket holders were in the Royal Rooters Club getting sloshed.
Well, come back out. Stop cheering.
Flip side of that is little Timmy that won the game for us might have been up in the nosebleeds if the crowd was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he snuck his way down there. Won the game.
That's a good point.
Could be that one game at the end of the season when we're trying to sneak our way into the playoffs.
I do appreciate the rain delays when all those the drunken clowns get down because they get near the microphones. Like Trout, like some dudes called Trout overrated, and then like everybody was like all Pujols cases like Pujols. I remember when you used to be a threat. And then he's talking to his buddy. He's like, yeah, like 04. He's like, yeah, 04, yeah, and we still swept them. Like, yeah. It was hilarious. Oh man, it was good stuff.
Classic.
Oh man, there's one thing, Stephen Wright, I noticed, and this is the second time this happened to him. Once the heavens open, can't control that knuckleball anymore, and so it's almost like once that rain comes down pretty hard, you got to yank him right away.
Right. Yeah,
we left him in maybe one too early, gave up that grand slam.
Yeah, and he got kind of behind in the count, and then he had to throw the fastball with the bases juiced. Like, maybe it's just better to just throw another knuckleball, and if if it's a pass ball or if it ends up in the dirt or whatever, like, okay, only a run scores. But
I never thought I could say I could turn on a major leaguer's fastball, but I think I might have Stephen Wright.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
one
like
of those out.
75.
Ground one into
I
the
think
dirt.
he might have grunted out in 81. I think I saw the other night, which is pretty. Actually, I can't catch up to 81. I was just thinking how much of a blur 70 is at the hitting cage.
Torn oblique.
Check that. I was just no. So, but okay. So looking forward to this week, going into the break. It's all home games. This is when we have to start making a run. Out of these 6 home games, we got to rip off like a 5-1 stretch, at least a 4-2, and win 2 series.
I like the way it's set up right now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our boy Ricky, who we don't really talk much about him, but he's kind of quietly having a pretty decent season.
He is, and that's why we don't talk about it.
Yep.
We just
Rule
keep
about
going.
Yeah, he's probably not going to pitch well next game, guys. Remember that? Remember we talked about that earlier in the week?
Man.
I can't. If I say he's going to do good, then you know what's going to happen.
He's that type of guy.
Yeah, so
he's that type of
but
guy.
he is going for. I think he's either going for 7-0 or he's going for 8-0 at Fenway this year. So hasn't lost a game at Fenway this year. It's pretty impressive.
That is good.
That is impressive.
Jinx. Jinx.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to lose it.
That ought to do it. Anything you guys want to say before we shout it out and sign off? Anything?
Got a couple more random notes.
Okay, we'll rattle them off. We love randomness.
Random.
On Wednesday, David Price was
Yeah.
He pitched a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. That's probably faster than I've seen him pitch all year.
Yeah.
So the velocity's there.
Yeah, he just needs to be
Speed
command.
is there.
Because
I think it's just
97.
an execution thing at this point, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, 97, even 94 on the black is nice. But when you're grooving it right down the middle, it doesn't matter if it's 97. It's getting hit,
Yeah.
Pedro Baez of the Dodgers can tell you that. He is horrible.
Yeah,
But,
just interesting, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I mean, 97, 98, that used to be fast. But everybody can hit a fastball nowadays in the major leagues.
Yeah.
Yep. Inside Rusney Castillo, but that's why he's in the minus.
Maybe not everybody.
I think one thing that we mention it earlier on in the show, or was this before we got on, where we talked about them taking Clay Buchholz out of the game, like 66 pitches in, and then we kind of threw our already exhausted bullpen in there. That was a really questionable decision by Farrell.
Yeah.
And we actually had somebody on our comment section ask if we could just do a little bit of a breakdown of Farrell calls, and I think this was probably one of the guys who's on the let's get him out of town side of
He
things.
is,
So.
and I think there's a lot of that, but like a lot of these things that are nitpicking, like hindsight is 20/20 things. It's like these guys have to perform. You know, the
right.
guys he puts in there have to perform, and we just got to see better performances out of the starters. We got to see guys in the bullpen, show up, because obviously it's going to have to be more than Koji, Tozawa, and Kimbrel that we trust towards the end. So somebody's got to rise up, a Matt Bonds or a Heath Hembry. Robbie Ross I've had more confidence in this year. So somebody's got to rise up and get that confidence, and but I thought they could have left Clay in for a beating, but I think we talked about that a good amount.
And then the last thing I have is Joe Kelly officially put back into relief role.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's out of the rotation.
Yeah, that's
for
a guy
now.
that can throw hard.
He can throw it hard. Yeah,
And he's had a relief position in the past with the Cards, so let's get it done. Joe Kelly.
He's kind of shown that he's kind of like Buchholz, where he'll pitch a couple good innings, and then the wheels fall off when he gets to the 4th or the 5th. So
You can envision that scenario where they're just basically going to trade places for the second half of the season. 2-3 starts. Oh, you know what? Let's throw you back in the pen. Joe Kelly, let's get
yeah, I hope they don't fall into that, because I feel like that's just a kind of destructive way to go about it.
Well, that's what happens when you don't have a 4 or 5 starter.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, embrace the chaos. Hopefully the Sox can bounce back and have the bats going and the arms going this week and head into that break with a flourish. We would love to see it. For Dennis Harris and Ben Fay, I am Mike Conley. This has been another edition of a Red Sox Wrap 360. Thanks for tuning in with us, gang. Go Sox.
Happy 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, be safe.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.